Cosmology in the early portions of the Vedas. The worldview of the Ṛgveda has two aspects: 1. Theological view and 2. Philosophical view. According to Vedic belief, the whole universe is constituted by three elements: earth, air, and space. Vedas generally describe the universe in terms of the relationship between heaven and earth as dyāvā-prithivī. Aditi indicates feminine principle and Dakṣa the male principle of the creation. Puruṣa Sūkta, Ṛgvedic hymn, describes a cosmic sacrifice to be the cause of whole creation. It also says that it is Puruṣa or God who has become the whole cosmos. However, God is not a finite being limited to the universe, but transcends even that. In other words, the world is only a partial manifestation of God, who is infinite in nature. In this way, the hymn extolls God as immanent and at the same time, transcendent also. The Vedas also designate God as viśwakarmā, the creator of the universe, and prajāpati, the father of all beings. The origin of the world is also traced to Hiraṇyagarbha, the cosmic mind. We see all these concepts getting philosophical dimension in the Upaniṣads. Veda also contains deep philosophical thoughts couched in beautiful, but innocent poetic expressions. They suggest that the universe has come out of a great principle without any outside interference. The scholars have recognized the depth of intuition and understanding disguised in the hymns composed by the Vedic sages. They also say that it is these vague ideas which later developed into philosophical doctrines in the Upaniṣads. Puruṣa Sūkta, one such hymn well known for its deep philosophical significance, reads in part as follows. Existence was not then, nor non-existence. The world was not, the sky beyond was neither. What covered the mist? Of whom was that? What was in the depths of darkness thick? Death was not then, nor immortality. The night was neither separate from day. But motionless did that vibrate. Alone, with its own glory one. Beyond that nothing did exist. At first in darkness hidden darkness lay. Undistinguished as one mass of water. Then that which lay in void thus covered. A glory did put forth by Tapa. 14. Cosmology in the Upaniṣads. The theological concepts in the Vedas centered around a supreme God evolved into a concept of impersonal divine reality in the Upaniṣads. This ultimate reality is called by different names such as Sat, pure existence, Brahman, the Great One, and Atman, the cosmic self. We find various descriptions of creation and its origin in the Upaniṣads. The theory of creation in the Upaniṣads is twofold: 1. Physical origin of universe, and 2. Divine origin of universe. The Taittiriya Upanishad says, this is the self, the spirit, and from the spirit ether was born, and from the ether, air, and from the air, fire, and from the fire, the waters, and from the waters, earth, and from the earth, herbs and plants, and from the herbs and plants, food, and from food, man was born. 15. This is an illustration of the physical origin of the universe in the Upaniṣads. The Brihadaranyaka Upanishad gives more profound description of the creation. It says, all this, universe, was then undifferentiated. It became differentiated by name and form, it was known by such and such a name, and such a form. This self has entered into these bodies up to the very tips of the nails. He who meditates on one or another of its aspects does not know, for it is then incomplete. The self alone is to be meditated upon, for in it all these become unified. 16. Acharya Shankara explains in his commentary to the above mantra that the self is superimposed by avidya, the primordial ignorance, with the differences of agent, action, and result. That is when the name and form consisting of this universe pass from undifferentiated to differentiated state. The creation in essence is an apparent modification involving superimposition. The self remains the same unaffected and unmodified in this process. This is the reason why the Upanishad instructs us to meditate on the self alone, since it is the only reality in the midst of apparent modifications that has taken the form of a universe. Theistic idea of creation. In Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Sri Krishna says that all beings and worlds go back at the end of a cycle of creation to Prakriti, the cosmic stuff, and he projects them forth again at the beginning of the next cycle. This process will be repeated again and again by him keeping the Prakriti under his control. The Lord further says that he just presides over this process and the whole universe revolves in this manner, being the evolution and involution of Prakriti. 17. The creation here is not absolute but just the projection of the cosmic stuff called Prakriti. The concept of history also changes from linear to cyclic, as there is no absolute beginning or end for the creation. This is in contrast with the Western science, philosophy, and theology, which attempt to explain the origin of the world and its evolution as a linear narrative. Bhagavata improvises upon the above idea. It says that the Prakriti, the root matter, becomes disturbed from its state of balance by the will of the Supreme Being, who is the master of the Prakriti. It further evolves into the principle of Mahat or cosmic mind and Ahamkara or I sense, which has three aspects dominated by the qualities of Sattva, illumination, Rajas, activity, and Tamas, dullness. These further manifest into subtle elements, senses, and the like. As they are not able to combine and produce the universe on their own due to their inert nature, the Lord through his willpower activates them at every stage of the creative process. 18. However, Prakti, the creative power of the universe, remained a mystery to the Indian theologians. The reality has two aspects, Mata, with form, and Amrta, without form. The Upaniṣads and Puras like Bhagavata accepted both. The Upaniṣads gave prominence to the reality without form while the Puras emphasized on the reality with form and attributes. Both said that the universe is projected out of the reality through a mysterious creative power, which is unexplainable. The Upaniṣads rejected the reality of the universe by holding that the creation is just a superimposition on Brahman. However, the Puras symbolically gave Prakti the status of eternal consort of the Supreme Lord and called it Lakshmi, Uma, and the like. This gave rise to mythological stories of exploits of the Lord with his eternal consort. Tantras say that the Prakti, the creative aspect of the reality, is equal to and inseparable from the static aspect. Tantras call the static aspect as Shiva and the creative aspect as Sakti. Sir John Woodroffe, a well-known exponent of Tantra, says, Sakti is both Maya, that by which Brahman creating the universe is able to make itself appear to be different from what it really is, and Mula Prakti or the unmanifested, Avyakta, the state of that which, when manifest, is the universe of name and form. 19. Sakti is the primary material cause of the universe consisting of three qualities Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, which represent nature. The three guas represent nature as the revelation of spirit, nature as the passage of descent from spirit to matter, or of ascent from matter to spirit, and nature as the dense veil of spirit. 11. Theologically, Sakti is considered as Devi, the goddess, who is Mahamaya. She is described as Brahman in its mother aspect. She is Ambika, the great mother, and also Lalitha, one who enjoys the divine play, as the whole world is only her play. Sri Ramakrishna's mother. The ingenuity of Sri Ramakrishna lies in his harmony of orthodox Vedantic principles with that of Tantra. In his concept of Prakti and Maya, he blended the ideas of both. He says that Maya and Brahman are like the snake in motion and the snake in rest. He also compares the calm ocean to Brahman and its agitation into waves with Maya, fire to Brahman and its burning power to Maya. Shiva represents intelligence and Sakti represents energy. Both are necessary for creation. These ideas are close to that of the Tantra. Sri Ramakrishna also says that Maya is the illusory power that deludes the world, the concept similar to that of Advaita Vedanta. He says, if you can detect and find out the nature of Maya, the universal illusion, it will fly away from you just as a thief runs away when found out. 20. This he calls as avidya Maya, the Maya of ignorance. He also introduces the concept of Vidya Maya, which helps one to realize God. Knowledge, devotion, dispassion, compassion, these are the expressions of Vidya Maya. This Maya, inseparable from Brahman, is what Sri Ramakrishna calls the mother. He says, God has created the world in play, as it were. This is called Mahamaya, the great illusion. Therefore, one must take refuge in the Divine Mother, the cosmic power itself. It is she who has bound us with the shackles of illusion. The realization of God is possible only when those shackles are severed. One must propitiate the Divine Mother, the primal energy, in order to obtain God's grace. God himself is Mahamaya, who deludes the world with her illusion and conjures up the magic of creation, preservation, and destruction. 21. Conclusion. Yes, the world we live in is always a mystery to us. The physical science is attempting to fathom this mystery but is uncertain over space and time, the very fundamental entities of the universe. The view of the world, created by God out of nothing, has been stooped to the level of a dogma in this rational age. Advaita Vedanta says that the world is only a false idea superimposed on the reality called Brahman. Bhakti schools describe creation as an expression of God's power. Tantras show us that this cosmic power manifests as the world is one aspect of reality, the other aspect being in a static state. In Sri Ramakrishna's life and teachings, all these ideas are harmonized into a unified fabric of seeing the whole universe as God himself. Swami Turiyananda, a direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna and a staunch Advaitin, declared at the end of his life, Brahma Satya, Jagat Satya, Sab Satya, Sati Pyare with Makron Pratayata, God is real, the world is also real, everything is real, the life force, cosmic energy, is established in truth. 22. It resonates with the Upanishadic saying, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma, all this is verily Brahman. 23. Perhaps, this is the theory of everything, which the physical science has failed to arrive at so far in the empirical field, while the Vedic sages realized it in spiritual realm at least 5,000 years ago. It is our fortune that we are able to spread such wonderful knowledge of our Sanatan Dharam. We want your help in reaching more and more people so that they can learn about our Dharma. Our request to you is share our videos to as many people. Thank you. For more Sanatan history videos, subscribe to Sanatana Sansar AI.